But lately you've been on this rap shit. You've been with hip hop, talking about white this. Ain't nobody took it over. We gave it away already, long time ago.
I think he's the best MC ever. Of course, there are going to be arguments about that because he's a white guy. You know, I don't think anyone that's rapping can touch Eminem on that microphone.
Eminem is the best rhymer of words in the world, on the planet. He can rhyme letters. Yeah. He can rhyme words that don't rhyme.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I think Dr. Umar, like me, just gets tired of that shit. Like, bro, like, relax. Like, okay, he's good. Like,
Dr. Umar seems to be pretty educated, and he also has an opinion and a platform. So, I mean, I respect, his opinion, but I don't gotta fucking agree with it.
But don't with Eminem, don't with Search, and do not with Snow. You leave them mother out of your whole shit.
Yeah, I think that Dr. Umar knows that he's an entertainer at this point.
After 50 years of hip hop, they close out the celebratory year by defending a white man's right to be called the best of all time. I wish I could snap my fingers and gangster rap and all of its artists would disappear.
Dr. Umar recently said that Eminem can't be one of the greatest of all time because he's not African American. Dr. Umar, please. Please. First of all, the one thing I want to know is, and I think I need to Google this, where did you get your doctorate? What makes you a doctor? And then where did you come from and what makes you an authority on hip hop?
My undergraduate education was from Millersville University. 3 degrees, political science, psychology, master's in school psychology. Subsequent to that, Pennsylvania certification as a school psychologist, which I've been for almost 20 years. After that, I got my educational leadership master's degree and principal certificate from Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And I earned my doctorate degree from the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, American Psychological Association approved program, one of the top psychology training programs on the East Coast. 6 degrees in all. And anyone can lift up a telephone and call and verify those degrees.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
No, Eminem don't need Dr. Umar to tell him that he's one of the greatest of all time because we've already have said it. Hip hop is for everybody. Hip hop might have been created by black people, but the love of music, melodies, and rhymes has spread all over this world. Who are you?
I just told you.
Dr. Umar went very viral a couple weeks ago for his take, which was basically Eminem can never be considered as one of the greats or as the greatest rapper of all time, or presumably even he thinks that Eminem's value is kind of overstated within hip hop.
You want me to say something about the Eminem situation? You want me to say something about the Eminem, the Slim Shady? This is what I'm going to say on the Slim Shady situation. This is what I'm going to say on the Slim Shady situation. This is what I'm going to say about the Eminem GOAT conversation. This is what I'm going to say. My comments about Eminem never being considered the GOAT or any other non-African was not personal. It was not personal. Okay? It was about protecting the culture. That's all it was. And protecting our community. That's what that was about. Now, as far as all these rappers who made it their personal business to assume the role of Eminem's defense attorney, for all these rappers, so-called gangster rappers, who made it their business to assign themselves as Eminem's publicists in the black community, they all dishonored themselves. They completely dishonored themselves. They made a mockery of our culture the minute they started arguing that he was the GOAT. Because you will never in your life see a person of another culture argue for an outsider to become the best ever at something they created. You will never see that. You will never see that. You will never see another people argue for an outsider to be considered the GOAT in something that they create. You will never see that.
Well, Eminem. He's saying Eminem can't be a top rapper because he's not black.
Here's the thing. This is the opinion of Dr. Umar. Me personally, I can't focus on someone's opinion. I like to talk about things that's fact-based. That's his opinion. There's some people that think he could be. And most of those are white people. And there's a lot of black people that say, all right, enough is enough. Let's admit that Eminem is a nice rapper.
But all I'm saying, Dr. Umar, talk all that about Mark Zuckerberg, but don't with Eminem, don't with Search, and do not with Snow. You leave them motherfuckers out of your whole shit.
I don't agree with, is it Dr. Umar?
Dr. Umar Johnson.
I don't agree with Dr. Umar with him saying that Eminem is undoubtedly one of the greatest rappers ever for obvious reasons. Again, Michael Jordan probably can't even fucking dunk from the free throw line today. So if we want to say, well, Eminem's not great today, well, motherfucking Jordan can't fucking jump from the free throw line.
Yeah.
So it is. We all get older, but that doesn't mean that we don't respect or understand the magnitude of what somebody did when they were, at their beginning and at their peak. So Eminem is for sure one of the best rappers ever. I don't give a fuck if he's white, black, or whatever. Dr. Umar seems to be pretty educated, and he also has an opinion and a platform. So I mean, I respect his opinion, but I don't gotta fucking agree with it. And I'm not even like I said, I haven't seen Eminem in 20 years, and we had our little back and forth, which is all good. But yeah, it still is what it is. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm not gonna lie about it. Like, Eminem is one of the greatest rappers of all time. He can take this sound bite, use it against me. I don't give a fuck. Like, it is what it is.
Cause Eminem is down with us. MC Search is down with us. Snow is down with us.
Nobody got no beef with Eminem. Ain't no rapper popping nothing about Eminem. Ain't nobody saying nothing. I'm not even gonna say nothing bad about Eminem, cause way too much stuff rhymes with rock, right? But Eminem don't even like his own mama. So Lord knows what he'll say about your black ass, okay? And Eminem's a white rapper, so his record gonna be on every station, the country station, the talk station. The black rappers just on Hot 97.
And what bothered me about all these so-called gangster rappers who felt the need to defend Eminem, you know what bothered me the most about these gangster rappers who felt the need to defend Eminem? I never saw any of them defend the black woman the way they defended Eminem. I'ma say it again. Ladies, are you with me? I never seen a single one of these gangster rappers who went to war to defend Eminem with regard to being the GOAT. I never seen one of them defend black women like that on the internet or on an interview. That is what was most disturbing about the whole fiasco. That is what was most disturbing about the whole fiasco. They ain't never spoke up for black women like that. They ain't never spoke up for black women like that. But you will get on your knees and defend this Caucasian. Nobody tried to hurt him. Nobody threatened him. Nobody said he couldn't rap. Nobody said he didn't have a right to be in the industry. I simply said, and I am still saying, I simply said, and I am still saying, I simply said, and I am still saying that no non-African can ever be the GOAT at anything produced by Africans. I meant it, I mean it, and I stand on my square.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I think Dr. Umar, like me, just gets tired of that shit. Like, bro, like, relax. Like, okay, he's good. Like, okay, this is 100 years later. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I can understand Dr. Umar gets frustrated as I do. You know what I'm saying? It's a frustrating thing. M can rap.
And one of the issues I have with the fact that we let non-Africans participate in our culture so much, they can do so as a hobby, because whenever they want to take off their suit, they can put their white privilege suit right back on and pick up the privileges they had before they made the rap album. Eminem has all the privileges of a white male and the privileges of being in the hip hop community. So we got to be careful about letting non-Africans come into our community, benefit or participate in our culture when they get to leave at the end of the night. Jane Elliott can leave at the end of the night. You black forever. You can never take your costume off.
You don't think Eminem is one of the best rappers of all time?
According to who?
You, rap fans.
Let me say something to you, and this is going to my African fundamentalism. No non-African can ever be the best of anything African. It is an insult to the ancestors, it is an insult to the race, and it is an insult to every black person. Do you think I could go to Palestine and be the best anything of Palestinian culture? You never see that. You think I could go to Israel and be the best of anything in Israel, whether it be a cook, an instrumentalist, a dancer? Hell no. And we have to stop naming non-African people, Joe.
But I disagree.
Stay with me though, let me finish this. We gotta stop naming non-African people as being the best of any aspect of our cultural product.
Joe, I think you
because
can.
it is an insult.
You can.
It is an insult.
We can acknowledge that the talent is the
Yes, I can acknowledge Eminem's title.
We should.
But let me tell you.
Go ahead.
For you to put him at the top,
Let me ask you this.
that's white supremacy, bro.
You just make everything a race thing, nigga. Everything ain't no race thing.
If Eminem's not the greatest rapper of all time, could the greatest rapper of all time be white?
As of course, I think now, as hip hop's evolved, yes, yes, he can be white now, because every hip hop is evolving, and all races are really, are putting in time into hip hop, and years gone by, and people are paying their dues, as I've called it. As far as Dr. Umar, I see where he's coming from, but then the argument is the same thing as like, okay, well, Dr. Naismith invented basketball, then how could Michael Jordan be the best at basketball?
I think that the root of what Dr. Umar was trying to talk about was saying, yo, if you didn't create something, if your people didn't create something, then your people can't come along and be the best of this if you didn't create it. I think that's the root of what he was saying. Yep. In terms of basketball, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, these names get brought up when we talk about the GOATs, but a white man created basketball. Drop the mic right there. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like nobody would deny that those are the GOATs. And guess what all them people got in common? They all black.
And then you had Negroes saying stuff like, well, what about basketball? A white man invented basketball. Ain't Michael Jordan the GOAT? Time out. You mixing apples and oranges. First of all, the jury is still out on whether they invented basketball because there's some historical information to the contrary. I said the jury is out on whether or not they invented basketball because there's some historical information out there to the contrary. Ifa Tunde 3 times. I said the jury is still out as to whether or not they invented basketball because there's some historical information to the contrary. But for the sake of conversation, let's say they did.
It started in December 1891, when the cold Massachusetts temperature drove guys inside. James Naismith saw how restless they were. They missed their usual outdoor sports, and indoor baseball was never going to take off. The director of the Springfield Young Men's Christian Association tapped Naismith to create a new indoor sport, an athletic distraction, they called it, to help guys make it through the winter. It had to be interesting, easy to learn, easy to play in the winter, and playable by artificial light. and it needed to be more strategic than forceful, no broken bones. Naismith studied rugby, baseball, lacrosse, and soccer, thinking about ways to adapt the best parts of each sport to a small gym. They ended up with 2 peach baskets and a soccer ball. He nailed the baskets 10 feet up, wrote 13 rules, and launched his basketball league. The first game, 9-on-9, launched on this day, December 21st, 1891. It had 2 15-minute halves, and it ended with a score of 9-3. The game spread quickly. Dribbling was added, YMCA leagues formed around the country, and in 1901, colleges began adding basketball to their sponsored list of sports. Eventually, holes were cut in the bottom of the basket so that the ball would drop through automatically, and the number of players on the court dropped to 5. Better choice. Naismith actually wasn't an athlete first and foremost. He had deep pastoral roots and a degree in theology. Naismith actually wasn't an athlete first and foremost. Naismith actually wasn't an athlete first and foremost.
Drop the mic right there. Come on, man.
This guy created a sport out of a desire to serve students, not to get a lottery pick and make millions.
For the sake of conversation, let's say they did invent basketball. Here's the question. Are most basketball players white, or are most basketball players black? So even if a Caucasian invented the game, the sport is dominated by blacks. So because we have overtaken the sport, overtaken it, it would be ridiculous to say a white man is the GOAT. Furthermore, basketball is a competitive sport that has clearly defined terms of who is the best and who is not in terms of championships, scoring records, MVPs, and other accolades. No such thing exists in rap except sales. And you can't go off of sales because most rap music is bought by white people. You cannot go off of sales because most rap music is bought by white people. Furthermore, rap is not dominated by Caucasians. It's dominated by black people. So the same argument we make for hip hop is the same argument we make for the NFL and NBA. We dominated, and therefore the GOAT can never be somebody outside of the culture. But I'm going to leave that right there. But to the hip hop community, I am so disappointed in you Negroes. After 50 years of hip hop, no institutions, no real programs, no systems to finance your community, and you close out the 50th year of hip hop celebration defending a white rapper's right to be called the best of all time. I want y'all to hear this. I need y'all to hear what I'm saying. After 50 years of hip hop, they close out the celebratory year. After 50 years of hip hop, they close out the celebratory year by defending a white man's right to be called the best of all time. I wish I could snap my fingers and gangster rap and all of its artists would disappear. Black community is better off without most of you. There are some exceptions to the rule, but most of you have not. If we look at the good you've done and the negative your music has caused, if we look at the good you all have done and the negative that your music has caused, I think we would agree that the community has suffered far more than they have ever benefited from you Negroes.
I never said that Eminem wasn't a great rapper. I think Eminem's a great rapper, but I don't listen to that type of music.
I feel like I hear a lot of people in this discourse saying that they think that Eminem is like the greatest rapper of all time, where I don't really believe that Eminem has had that big of a role in their music listening throughout their life.
And I don't know Dr. Umar personally, but when I heard about that, that really fucking bothered me, because Eminem is not only a dope-ass MC, I consider Eminem a friend.